I'm Eric from Legends Automotive. In high school, I was interested. As soon as I could, I went to work at an automotive shop. So I started out as a GS tire changer, and then after high school, I went to school. Went to a technical college and got my associate's degree, all while working in a shop. The first place I worked at was Tires Plus, and like I said, I was just a grunt, just changing oil and learning from the other guys there. That's where I met Troy. Multiple independent shops that I was working for. I was working for a place, and along comes Troy walking in. This is after we'd already worked together at multiple places, and he walked in and he says, "You want to grab lunch?" And I was like, "Sure." So I went and grabbed lunch, and he explained to me that he had just opened a brand new shop in Hugo, Minnesota. At that point, it was just a little 2-bay shop, 2 hoists. That's it. So I went and met with him for lunch, and we talked about it. And I already at this point had a family and my first child, Jordan. And, big decisions like these, then I always involved my wife. So then we discussed it, and then Cindy came up and met him, and afterwards, I gotta say, we were like, "What are you doing?" At this point, I was a very good technician. I made very good money where I was. I was high producing, and then had to take everything into account, but the opportunity, for Troy's vision was, starting to there, and I could see it, so I left there and I went to work for Troy at TGK at Hugo, a little 2-bay shop. And, throughout there, we did, everything and built it into having enough business that we had to knock down a wall and add a 3rd hoist, and, just kind of growing there, so I would say I worked for him for about 5 years, and my end goal always was I wanted to own my own shop, and it wasn't necessarily moving in that direction for Troy and I. So we sat down and came to a mutual agreement that we would split ways. So I went to work for Honest One Automotive. Fast forward working for them for a while, and what happens? Troy walks in the door, and where I'm working, he's like, "Hey, you want to go have lunch?" And I was like, "Oh crap." So, meanwhile, Troy and I were, good friends. So, I still went and, to his shops and helped diagnose, even though I was working somewhere else, and we were always in, contact even after there. But he walks in the shop and wants to go have lunch again. So sure. So I go and have lunch with him, and he wants to open up his 3rd location now and have a co-owner. So we found this location in Crystal, Minnesota. Decent sized shop, but it was going to take a pretty good amount of work because they didn't do full service. They only did tires and some minor brakes and that kind of stuff. So going to have to build it up. But going into it, that was another hurdle, because now I was the lead tech and had to wear the hat as an owner. So, that creates stress on your home life, just because, I've always been the type of person that I devote everything into it, and, I'm working long hours because I'm the lead tech, because stuff still needs to get repaired and needs to get done, and production needs to get there. But all the stuff that the owner hat does comes after hours, so there was a lot of times where, I was working even later after I left work doing that. And I would say, some of these things then I had great people in my corner, you know, to bounce ideas off and that kind of stuff because of the holding people accountable. I mean, I was always, cars don't talk back, right? You know, so it's easy. Working with having to manage people is a whole nother thing, you know, so that's something that I needed to work on in myself early on, which, again, you know, I had Troy in my corner, and then, you know, then Jolly and Tim also come along, and, you know, they, you know, have good leadership skills. So I was always using them as a resource to be able to get better at that side of the job. So, I mean, I've basically held every position, you know, cleaning, GS, tire tech, you know, grew all the way through, you know, to being master certified as a technician, to now owning, managing, running the shop, writing service up front. You know, as an owner, then I had to fill any position that needed to be, you know, done that at that time. Fast forward again, you know, Troy had this vision, which I was completely on board with, of growing, you know, multiple stores, you know, and I was willing to go along with the ride and put in as much energy, time, everything that I could to follow that dream, because I saw it. I saw what he saw. You know, as the owner of Crystal, then I had to train to replace. You know, if I was ever going to leave essentially my baby, then I needed to make sure that everybody there, that it would run just as well without me there. You know, and when we were growing, then that was something, you know, Troy and I had conversations about, but I had to figure out, because I was part of this opening team. So all the TGKs that we opened, then there was, you know, a group of us that's what our job was, is to open it up, you know, so that going in, it would succeed in a short period of time, you know, hopefully generate net profit closer, because implementing the processes and you know, procedures that we had developed, you know, and it was ongoing. It was, you know, I would say probably wasn't even until store 17 that we were really getting good at it. I mean, there was always things we were adding to that opening team to make things go quicker, you know. And then we had, during COVID, we opened 14 stores, I think, in 1 year. So it became very busy, but again, I needed my original location and my other, you know, location, Inver Grove, to come, and Rosemount. They all needed to run whether I was there or not. I think the success that I had, and that, you know, TGK has, and that Legends has, is surrounding your people with the same morals, the same, you know, mindset, you know, seeing the vision, and, you know, and I think that goes with everything in life. You know, if you surround yourself with the same people that have the same process and the same thought process, and the, you know, like-minded people, then you're going to succeed. New chapter, Legends Automotive. You know, growing this industry with like-minded owners, you know, and it's exciting to help grow this, and I'm excited to see what happens in the future. I think we've got all these great owners that have the same mindset that we did, and I really think it's only up from here.